Okay, so well, let's start with the first part of the test. We're going to see the first part of the reading and use of English test, just for us to remember how this test works. Let me just share a screen here very quick. And well, the test. Remember, Megan and uh, and also colleagues. The Well, the first part is called the reading and use of English test. Okay. Today, well, before we see this part, which is the multiple choice, which is part one, we're going to practice some speaking and some other parts. Also, we're going to practice a little bit of vocabulary, but we're going to see this part and how to do it, and we're going to practice it, right? But in general, this test has the reading use of English exam, which has 8 different parts. That will be the first test that you guys are going to be doing. Then we have the writing test, which is the first part. We definitely need to write an essay, and the second part, we are going to learn how to write a report, a review, a letter, and a proposal, right? So that's the second part. Well, the second, remember, it's 4 different tests in one day, right? Then the third one is the listening test, which is only have 4 parts. And the last one is the speaking test, which only has 4. And I know that, well, I've been practicing with Megan and some other people, some of these parts of the speaking test also. But let's go here very quick to lesson one, and let's maybe warm up a little bit with a little bit of speaking. Megan, just to warm up a little bit, maybe we can practice a little bit of speaking here, where it says, do you find it easy to get to know other people? Do you find it easy to know other people?
Um, Personally, no. I tend not to trust people right away.
Mhm.
So I can be friendly and cordial with people,
Right, right.
um but gaining my trust is a bit complicated. But once I get to know someone, I'm very loyal.
Okay, well, interesting, interesting. Yeah, that I think that happens to me also, right? It's a little bit difficult, right, to
Hmm.
well, mostly shy people, right? Because there's outgoing people. It's very easy for them to just talk to people, right? but
Right.
uh, but let's practice also some of these exercises. Remember that this is going to help us for part one of the speaking test, where there's going to be this question that we don't know exactly what's going to be about, right? So that's what we're practicing right now, part one of the speaking test. And let's maybe start with some other questions. Megan, what would be your ideal way to spend a weekend?
Um, the ideal way to spend a weekend for me is a movie, some snacks, and my husband, and that sounds like a perfect plan for me.
Okay, interesting. So just relax, watching a
Yeah, yeah,
movie. Okay,
yeah.
good.
Exactly.
Excellent, excellent. Uh, do you prefer to work or study on your own or with other people?
I prefer to study on my own and work on my own as well.
Mhm.
It's easier for me to organize my time and what I want to do. Sometimes working with people can be a little tricky, so I prefer doing it on my own.
Right, perfect. So, Megan, and also the ones that are watching this lesson, uh, for homework, I would like for you to maybe send me a message answering all these questions. So, from one to 8, you can work a little bit of speaking, and you can send me that on my personal WhatsApp so that I can give you some feedback about it. Okay, so that would be good if you could do that and practice a little bit of speaking, right, with these questions. Remember, part one, Megan, is just about personal questions. A lot of them are just personal questions. Also, what they're looking here is for us to answer in a proper way, right? If they're answering, for example, with enjoy, they would like for us to use enjoy plus gerund, right? Because that's a rule, right? So it's just like a very quick example that they are just looking for our grammar parts over here, right? And even though if there are yes no questions, of course we can answer yes or no, but we need to keep on talking, right? So that's something very important that we need to remember for part one of the speaking test, right? Even though there are yes no questions, we need to keep on talking, right? So that's something that is very important. And any questions, Megan, regarding this part in general, part one of the speaking test?
No, pretty much personal questions and just elaborate a little bit on the
Right, right,
question.
exactly. Yeah, we don't need to like to talk for 3 minutes, right? Oh, but yes, at least maybe 40 seconds, just talking. And remember that in the test, they will tell you thank you. If you're talking too much, they might tell you thank you, and when they say thank you, you stop, right? So
Okay.
that's something that we need to know. Now, let's see this vocabulary very quick, and maybe we can work on this. But this word actually is kind of interesting, and well, this one is con conscientious.
Conscientious.
Yeah,
Conscientious.
yeah, conscientious.
Conscientious.
Yeah, it's a very, I don't know, it's difficult for me to pronounce that one, but that one. Do you know the meaning of that one, Megan? Do you know that word?
Like, like having an idea of your surroundings
Mm,
and your, yep.
well, that one is, for example, if you're doing some job from college, or maybe from even from your job, and you are really, good in that job, and you are really into it, and you are responsible with it, then you are that. It's
Okay.
like being well, in Spanish, be diligente.
All right.
Okay, so that's, I know this one is very difficult, this word, right? And actually I had it here, the way to pronounce it, and let me see. Con conscientious. Conscientious, yeah, yeah, conscientious, yeah, that's the word. I know it's totally weird for us this word, right? But it's kind of interesting, and also to know it. Now this one, narrow-minded, that one is easy, right? When you are like very uh, square on your thinking, right? And you're not, it will be the opposite of open-minded, right? So narrow-minded, that's another, in this case, another adjective. Courageous, right? That one is like when you are brave, right? Courageous. Then we have unconventional, for example. Then we have competent, down to earth, that one, right? Uh, the opposite would be people that always dreams about things, but there's other people that when we are dreaming about something, those down to earth people, they say, no, I think that you're wrong, right? I think sometimes we believe that these down to earth people are like negative people, right? But in certain way, I think we need those people around us sometimes. Then we have outgoing, right? That one is very easy. But what we were talking about, right? And being outgoing and knowing people. Now, decisive, right? You are really going to decide this. Decisive. I'm sorry, decisive. Decisive, right? Then we have knowledgeable, right? Somebody that knows a lot, not knowledgeable. And then we have persuasive, right? So if you want, I don't know, did you have this page with you, Megan, or
Is it on the book?
it's on the book? Uh-huh. Can you go?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you
I'll
have.
go grab the book. Yeah.
Okay.
One sec.
Okay, go ahead. And also, if you don't have the book, the ones that are listening to this lesson, please go to page 10, and we're gonna be working on this vocabulary.
Okay, I have the book here.
Okay.
Page is it?
Page 10. I know you can go to page 10. I don't know, do you have already done, have you done this already, or you haven't done it yet?
I think I have it done already.
Oh, you have, it's already done.
Yep.
Oh, okay, okay. So, but well, let's check it then, okay? And well,
Yeah.
for those that are watching the recorded lesson, you can pause for a moment the video and do this part, please. Do this. Try to use these adjectives in these different sentences. Pause it, please. Do it, and then we're going to give you right now the answers. I'm going to check it, okay? But let's uh let's check it then right now. So okay, let me see here. Okay, just a moment. Okay. Okay, let's check. Well, number one is already there. Which word do you put in number two, Megan? Can you read the whole sentence,
Yeah.
please?
With 2 years experience in the classroom, I'd say he's a very knowledgeable teacher.
Correct. You can use knowledgeable, or you can also use competent. I don't know if there's, yeah, we could use also competent, which is here, or we can also use knowledgeable. Very good. So in this case, we have two different options. Very good. Let's go with number three. What do you put there?
I think she'd make a great team leader because she's a decisive sort of person, whereas I find it hard to make up my mind.
Excellent. Decisive. Excellent. Number four.
I was a courageous, it was a courageous decision to resign in protest at the company's pollution record.
Perfect. Number five.
I describe her as a down to earth sort of person with no pretensions.
Perfect. Number six.
One of his daughters is outgoing while the other one is really shy. How strange.
Very good. Number seven.
To my mind, he has a very unconventional way of dressing. It's very creative.
Excellent. Number nine. I'm
You
sorry,
could say they
number eight. I'm sorry, number eight.
Mhm. You could say they display the typical narrow-minded attitudes of small communities.
Number nine.
She gave a very persuasive speech about the need for more funding.
Perfect. And number 10.
If she's an international lawyer, then she needs to be very competent in her job.
Correct. In that one, we can use competent or knowledgeable also, okay? So it will be the same as number 2. Perfect. Very good, Megan. And please also check the ones that are listening to this lesson, please check it and see how you're doing with these words. Well, regarding this, the lesson, we have different conditionals. Remember, I'm going to send you actually a link, Megan and the others. I'm going to send you links so that you can maybe review conditionals, which is very easy, right? We as teachers, we already know them, but sometimes it's very important for us to uh, review them, right, in a certain way. We know that the zero is present and it's always about facts, right? For example, I can say if you uh, if you heat the water, it boils, right? So it's definitely a fact, something that is fact, present, right? Megan, do you remember that the first conditional? How does it go? For example, like
Yeah, the first
uh
first conditional will be simple present, and as far as the if clause and future, in the main clause, and it is used for possible future things.
perfect. Yeah, like if I study, I will pass the test, right? Something like
Mm.
that. Correct. Very good. The second one is past simple, and do you remember the other one?
Yeah, the main clause will be would plus infinitive. We can also use some other modals, and that's for hypothetical situations.
Perfect. Can you give me an example?
If I had $1 million, I would go to Hawaii.
Perfect. And the third one is this is a very sad one, right? Because we are regretting about something. And
Mhm.
What do you put? What do we put here in the first one? Megan, do you remember that one?
Yeah, if clause will be past perfect, and the main clause will be would have plus the past participle.
Uh-huh.
So if I had studied for my exam, I wouldn't have passed.
Excellent, excellent, Megan. Perfect. So that's why I said this one is like the sad one, right? Because it's already done, right? There's nothing we can do, but we still regret about things, right? So very, very good. So in that case, it's important for us to review conditionals. Again, I'm going to send you a link where you can maybe practice. There's some practice over there. If you don't know exactly how the conditionals are, because sometimes even we as teachers we forget about that, it will be very important for us to look at these conditionals. Now, I'm just going to skip this for a moment, and I'm just going very well. I think that let's go directly to part one of the reading and use of English test. So let's go to page 14, and let's see what this is about first. So it says in part one of the reading and use of English test, you choose one word from a set of four, A, B, C, or D, to fill a gap. It says the focus is on vocabulary. So you have to think about the meaning of the word and whether it collocates with another in the text. Sometimes you have to check the word fits the grammatical context of the sentence and the text of the whole. Below are some examples of the types of words that are tested in part of paper. So the first thing that we need to study, remember that for each part of the test, we need to study stuff, right? We need to study things. In this first part, we need to study collocations. Remember, collocations are words that always are together, right? Uh, as a very quick example, a collocation can be fast food, right? We fast always goes with food, right? We don't say quick food because quick doesn't collocate with food, right? But we say quick shower, right? Because quick collocates with shower. So collocations are words that comes together. Megan, did you see the book that I sent about collocations? Have you seen that book in the WhatsApp chat?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, perfect. Because that is going to help you a lot, Megan, for this test and for you to to see this, right, and to study
Yeah.
that part. Actually,
Teaching.
that yeah, actually in that book you can see collocations, you can even see phrasal verbs. So I would recommend for you to at least read it. I know there's a lot of them, so maybe we're not gonna memorize all of them, but at least take a look at that book and read some of them, and it will be very helpful, and also for all of you who are watching this lesson right now. So let's see this very quick, and let's see some examples. So it says all, in this case, talking about collocations, we say all was left for breakfast was some bread and tea. Well, in this case, why is it very important? Why is it important for us to know collocations? Because we need to know that rotten doesn't go with bread, right? Or sour doesn't go with bread, or rancid doesn't go with bread. In this case, we say stale, right? Duro, but duro, right? Stale. So the correct answer is A. So we say stale bread. For rotten, it's very good for us to start right now studying, right? Okay, if I'm going to use uh, rotten, I need to collocate it with fruit, with vegetable, or with meat, right? So that rotten collocates with those parts. Now sour collocates with milk, and rancid collocates with butter. Okay, so that's something that we need to start learning, and that's why to study collocations, actually, the book that I gave you, please study these collocations because it's going to be very helpful in this part and in other parts of the test. Okay, so that would be that case. Also, Megan, we need to study fixed expressions, right? For example, in this part, I say I sight of an old friend when I went to the bank yesterday, right? So in this case, well, he said I caught sight, right? That is that's an expression, right? So we need to learn different expressions in English. Like, for example, one of those expressions is look forward to, right? That's an expression. I mean, there's different expressions that we need to also memorize in this case. So the expression is to catch sight of someone or something, right? So you can use it for someone or also for something. Are we clear, Megan, with this part? It's very, very important for us to start studying this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, good, good. Also, well, the phrasal verbs that I was talking to you, right? That you can also find them in that book that I sent you. And because we get, I don't know if that happens to you, Megan, but we get confused a lot with that, with those phrasal verbs that that ends with up, right? And look up
Mm.
or look into. So we get confused with and with those meaning, and it's very important for us to know exactly the meaning because in this part we might get confused if we don't know the meaning of the phrasal verbs. So in this example, it says he intends to up. Well, because maybe we can say, well, what about set? What about get? Well, get up is definitely a phrasal verb, right? Or put up. But in this case, the context is the one that's going to help us. We're talking about computer. So if we're talking about computers, normally we use to set up, right? So in this case, to set up means to establish a company or business, right? So in this case, a computer business. So that's why we use setup in this case. So that's why a very quick example. That's why phrasal verbs are very important. Now connecting words, right? Like although, despite, otherwise, if, but, right? And all those are connecting words. And in this case, we are saying he decided to go. His family begged him not to, right? So he decided to go. In this case, the correct answer is A, although his family begged him not to. And it explained to us here why not despite. Well, despite will require the construction, despite his family begging him, right? So in that case, if I use despite, this should go with a gerund, right? Begging him not to, or despite the fact that his family begged him not to. So in this case, if I use despite, I need to use well, let me see here. Yeah, in this case, despite his family begging, right? In that case, I would need to transfer this into a gerund, or in this case, despite the fact that his family begged him not to, right? Otherwise means or else, and it does not make sense here. So that's why we need to study connecting words and how to use them and what words we need to in this case put together, right, with these connecting words, which pronoun goes with each one. Also, if we need to use a gerund, or if we need to use an infinitive, right? So that's why these parts are very important. Now, and also we need to know some meaning in general about certain words. Like for example, Emma fell down and, well, her knee, right? In this case, the correct answer is B, graze. What is graze? Well, graze means to break the surface of the skin by rubbing against something rough, right? Why not? So people might ask, why not skim? Well, skim means to move quickly just above a surface without or only occasionally touching it. Why not rub? Well, rub means to press or to be pressed against something, right? With a circular or up and down repeated movement. And scrub means to rub something hard into order to clean it, right? So in that case, that's why it's very important for us to know these different meaning of certain words. And I'm going actually in that book that I sent you, you can see also some words that can help us for this part. So in general, Megan, that's like the things that we need to study just for part one, right? This is just for part one of this reading and use of English test. Actually, each week we're going to see. Right now, we just in this maybe during this month we're going to see just part the reading and use of English test, right? And the different parts of them. Then we're going to go to the writing one, then to the listening one, and we're gonna finish with speaking. Remember, we only have 3 months, so we need to hurry up with each specific part of the test, right? Megan, do you have a question?
Yeah, sorry. I was just wondering if um we will be during this month checking book exercises regarding the use of English. So I was just wondering because I haven't been able to complete the whole thing, and it'll
Yes,
be very helpful.
yeah, definitely, Megan. Well, we're not going to see maybe the whole book because we only have 3 months, and we are focusing directly on the parts of the test, right? Maybe just
Uh-huh.
like today, we are going to see a little bit of grammar, right? that's going to
Okay.
help us, but we're just going to go directly for the part of the test. Maybe next week we're going to see part 2 and 3, right, of the reading and use of English test. Then the other week,
Okay.
but we are just going to focus a lot in parts of the test, and of course we're going to skip to some units of the book that
Yeah.
explains directly the part of the test, right? So like today, right? We just saw one,
Mhm.
and this is part 1. But maybe I can. Did you do this part already, Megan? Have you done it yet, or you haven't done it? Page 15.
Mm, let me see. Yes, I have it done. I have
You have
worked
done it.
on it.
Okay, okay. So before checking it, again, if you are listening to this class, please, this is to practice, for you to practice part 1 of the reading and use of English test. So I recommend also for you to read some of the advice for this part where it says, and let's read this together, Megan. This can also help. Well, just it's good for you to also review this part. Well, it says, read the
Mhm.
title of the text. This will help you to predict the main topic. Okay, so the first thing we need to do in part 1 of the reading use of English is to read this this title. In this case, social networking, sites, and personality. Well, so we have now an idea of what is it about, right? Then it says always read the whole text first to understand the gist, right? So we need to forget about the gaps for the moment and let's read this text right away and just to see what is it all about. So this part is very important. The third advice
That's,
is look carefully at the
um,
sent. Yes, Megan? Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I cannot.
Okay, I think that we had some internet problems, right? Okay. So the third advice is look carefully at the sentence where the gap is. Also look carefully at the sentence before and after the gap, right? So for example, here, if we are reading, okay, however, by using them, we also unintentionally, so we need to look at this one, read this one, and then look at this one a lot about our personality. So we need to focus on before the gap and after the gap. And of course, we need to see, okay, if it's, is it A, B, C, or D, right? So that would be the third step. Then the fourth one says, make sure that the word you choose makes sense in the context of the text as a whole, right? As the whole, in the whole sentence, right? Now consider each alternative carefully, dismissing those which do not fit. An advice, and actually when I did this test, that helped me a lot, is just to take out the words that you definitely say, okay, you definitely might say, okay, definitely Bill doesn't go there. So I'm just gonna focus on these three, right? So that can help us a lot because from the four of them, one of them maybe you can definitely say, yeah, this one definitely is not the word. So that can help us to focus maybe on just only three instead of focusing on four, right? So that's another advice. And says finally, read through what you have written and see if it sounds right. Okay. So these are very very important advice for part 1 of this reading and use of English test. So again, if you are watching this class in this in by YouTube, which is going to be recorded, please pause it for a moment, do this practice, and then look again because we're going to give the answers in a moment. So please pause it and then continue just for you to check the answers. But let's check it together, Megan. Now let's check this part to see if you got the right words. Um, so let me see here. Okay, let's start with number 1. Which one did you put, Megan?
I chose reveal.
Correct. Number 1 is reveal. Yeah, which means to show what was previously hidden, right? So that would be revealed. Very good. Number 2.
Insight.
Correct. Insight. You put insight, right?
Right, insight.
And maybe people might be asking why. Well, gain collocates with insight, right? So that would be the answer. Well, let's check it here so that people can see it. Okay, now let's go with number 3.
Number 3, research.
Correct, research. And that's because research needs the dependent preposition into, okay? So it goes with this preposition. Now, let's go with number 5.
Actually, it would be number 4.
I'm sorry, number 4, number
Source.
4. Number 4.
Source.
Source, excellent, source. Why? Well, it says rich collocates with source. You see, that's why collocations are very important for us to do this part. Now, let's go with number 5 now. Yes, number 5.
5 would be complex.
Excellent. Complex. Why? Well, it says complex is used when we talk about things with many parts, such as a network. Okay, so that's why in that case we're going to be using this complex word. I'm sorry, 6, number 6.
I'm not sure about the pronunciation. I think it's solely.
Solely, solely. And why? Well, not involving anything else. Well, solely, that's the meaning of solely, right? Not involving anything else. So that's why we're going to be using that one. Number 7.
Consistent.
Consistent, very good. Why? Well, because consistent needs the dependent preposition with, right? So it goes with the preposition with. And number 8.
Evidence.
I'm sorry.
Evidence.
Evidence, correct. Yeah, B. Again, find collocates with evidence, right? So that's why we use evidence. So just in this part, we saw a lot of collocations, right? So that's why it's very, very important for us to be able to learn these collocation words. Well, Megan, actually, you're doing very good. I'm very glad about it. And well, little by little, we're going to see in your case, for example, to see if you're ready. But definitely, you're ready for part 1, part 1 of the reading use of English test.
Hopefully, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. But perfect, perfect. So well, that's what I was planning to do today. I don't know. Have you already did the also this listening part, Megan, from this part? Have you done it already? And
What page is it? Is it 16?
page 13, page 13.
Yes, I did.
Yes, yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, so for those who haven't done it, remember that in our platform, we have everything. We have every single listening part. And if you want to also review it again, this listening part, yeah, Megan, it would be great, right? If you want to review it again. But remember that you can go to your platform again. If you forgot your password or your username, please let us know, and we can give you that again. And so over here, you can just remember go to C1 module 1. Let me see, I have all kinds of modules here. Okay, C1 module 1. So over there, you're going to see, you see unit 1, getting to know you, that's the name of the unit. And you can see here the track. So if, for example, we have track 1, unit 1, and we also have another one so that you can practice it in the unit, right? And actually, there is already here a practice of mixed conditionals if you want to do that. And there's also some other practices here and tips for listening and speaking, the ones that we just practice, the speaking part that we practice today. There's some tips also. So please, I know that Megan, she works on the platform, so that's very good. But if you are listening to this class and you haven't even worked with the platform yet, please go to unit 1, and you can even check the lesson again, which is here, the whole lesson. I just focus today on certain parts, but this can help us a lot regarding practicing for the test. Megan, do you have some specific questions about the test or about this unit or something else that I can help you before we finish or end up today's lesson?
No, regarding collocation stuff is I have to practice and study a little bit more. But that part is all clear for me. Thank you so much.
Perfect, Megan. Excellent. So remember, next week, Megan, we're going to look at part 2 and part 3 of the reading and use of English test, and of course, give some advice and everything. And let's see. Actually, if you want, Megan, I'm going to send also a link just to practice this part. Practice part 1 of the reading and use of English test. Okay, so that you can also.
Yeah, that would be great. Also, if you can tell me the units from the book that's found in it specifically, so I can verify if I have it.
Oh, you mean for the one that we just saw today, or the ones that we're going to see next week?
Next week.
Oh, okay, sure. I will find them for you, and I'll send them. If I forgot, send me a message personally, because sometimes I forgot. But definitely in the WhatsApp, I'm going to send you this link to practice part 1, and also well, the link for conditionals if you want to also review that. And I would think that would be pretty much it. Yeah. So thank you very much, Megan. See you next week, and hopefully we're gonna have more people to interact a little bit more in the speaking parts. So thank you very much, Megan. See you next week.
Thank you for your time. See you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Good night.